FSH MD and self-acceptance. Let's talk about that for a few minutes today. As you saw on the intro to my program here, I was diagnosed with the Fascioscapulahumeral Muscular Dystrophy at 14 years old. I began showing symptoms, falling down, a little bit of facial deformity, left arm weakness, things of that nature. It was interfering with my sports activities that I was involved in, which were basketball and football. And so that was 34 years ago this month. And it took me years. Now listen to me. It took me years to accept myself with the FSH-MD. Now, your story is different than mine. Mine's different than everybody else's with this disease because we are all different and unique and individual people. I can just tell you what I did and how I learned to be comfortable in my own skin. I was in the 9th grade when I got my diagnosis. I mean, a typical 9th grader goes through enough peer pressure, ribbing from other children, taunting, and all of that. And then this just exacerbated, magnified my teenage years of transition. So the long story short is I got in a lot of fist fights during my early high school years, my 9th grade year especially, because the kids would ridicule, make fun of how I limped and my facial deformity. See, I wear this beard and mustache and whatnot, this goatee, to cover up a lot of my facial deformity. Because, in case you don't know, I wouldn't look exactly like I do now if I did not have the FSH-MD. No one that has Fascioscapulahumeral would look like they do now without the disease, because it deforms our facial features to one degree or the other. So, how I learned to accept myself, this took years. Now, I'm not telling you this is an easy 1, 2, 3, ABC, it's over and done process. This took me years. So, what I finally came to grips with is the fact, number one, that I have FSH-MD. There's no way around it. There's no way to deny it. It's there. I have it till the day I die. Number two, I come to grips with the fact that there's no one else on earth quite like me. Now, whether that be good or bad, I am my own individual person. When I discovered that fact, then I began looking inwards at ways that I could begin loving myself as a human being. Because if you watch any of my other videos, you're going to see, all the rejection, from society, from the opposite sex, from my own family members, from different friends I've had over the years that's rejected me or whatever for having this disease. So all of that plays a part in the way we view ourselves, or at least it did for me. So the way I did it was acknowledge I had the disease, then learn to love myself. and just be comfortable with myself. I learned this while working in the penitentiaries around hardcore criminal men and women. I worked in both men and women prisons. And that 17-year career I had in there taught me a lot. During that time, I learned to accept myself just the way I was. And I'm going to tell you, the prisoners really helped me in obtaining this particular mindset. I'm going to tell you how. Because 99% of the incarcerated inmates I met, and I met thousands of them over those 17 years, as you can well imagine, 99.9% showed me utmost, total, complete respect, even though I was in a wheelchair. That helped boost and strengthen my confidence in myself. That began really my journey of self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. I take that to mean self-love, self-care, self-nurturing. Where you look in the mirror, and this may sound funny to some of you all, but it's legitimately the truth. It's where I could look in a mirror without disliking the person looking back at me. It's where I could take a shower and look at my diseased, debilitated, deteriorated body and still like the person I am, and still love the person that I am. Because what I discovered through all of this journey, which took years, I keep saying that, is that my disease does not define who I am. Let me say that one more time. My disability, my handicap, FSH does not define who I am as a person. The FSH is just part of who I am, but it does not define me. That's why that when I go into a place of business, store, or a meeting, or whatever I'm doing, I roll in my wheelchair and I roll in there like I own the place. That's what I learned to do in the penitentiaries that I worked in. I wasn't arrogant. I wasn't cocky. I wasn't presumptuous. But I was confident. See, there's a difference in arrogance and confidence. Confidence is, in my opinion, my definition of confidence is emotionally and mentally self-acceptance. That's what it is. You are comfortable in your own skin. Now, your skin, your body may be diseased and ill and sick and twisted and deformed and crippled and all that. But you learn to become comfortable in your own skin. I'll tell you something else that helped me to garner this attitude is my 25 years of being a motivational public speaker. Now, you're always going to have the naysayers and the critics and all of that. And I believe, now I accept constructive criticism, but most criticism I've received is just stupid stuff that doesn't amount to a hill of beans. So I dismiss that. But what I do accept is all the compliments, the good gestures, the positive feedback that I have gotten over the years from my motivational speaking that serves to revamp my self-confidence. So, how do you love yourself with FSHMD? Now, I've talked to men with this, and I've talked to women. And, women seem to have a harder time with this, at least the ones that I've talked to, especially if it affects their face, a great deal, their facial expressions and looks and whatever. But this is doable. It's going to take work. You may have to go to counseling to get help in this area. I don't know. And if you do, it's nothing to be ashamed of. There are counselors who are trained and capable and able and willing to help us through these traumatic episodes and events in our lives. So don't be ashamed of that if you have to go to that. I've went to a counselor or two over my life. I'll tell anybody that. It's the same as going to a medical doctor. They're paid to help you in your physical body. A certified psychologist or psychiatrist, they're paid to help you with your mental and emotional issues. So, self-acceptance with FSHMD. This is a topic that everybody in the FSH community really needs to hear, because I'm in several Facebook groups about FSH, and a lot of those individuals message me and we talk. And, a big thing is they're not comfortable in their own body. And that's such a horrible, depressing, sad way to live. Now, just because I've got this new mindset, I've had it now for a number of years, doesn't mean that my life is any more easier. I still get disrespected. I still get rejected from society. I still get all the negativity. But the point is, it doesn't affect me now like it once did. The whole point of this is we're trying to improve with each new year. I want to be a better person in 2018 than I was in 2017. And it's a growth. It's a continual growth. And it's not like I can sit back on my haunches and just let it happen. I have to work at it continually. Because, once you become comfortable in your skin and self-confident and you accept yourself, then when you are around healthy, insecure, immature people, you're going to get a reaction out of them. Now, don't ask me why this is, but it is the truth. I remember going into a gym, at a penitentiary I was working at. And I worked in every state prison in the state of Kentucky over those 17 years. And I was going into the gym. I had to talk to a guy about a matter going on there with him, an inmate. And I'd never spoken to him. I'd seen him, but I'd never met him or shook his hand or spoken to him like that. So I walked up to him. He's a big old burly guy. And this gym room full of big old tough guys. I rolled in there and in my wheelchair. And they were so insecure with me being in that room, they wouldn't say one word to me. Wouldn't talk to me. And I could tell you story after story of other ways that insecure people are very bothered by secure people. Okay, don't forget that. Insecure people are aggravated, they're annoyed, they're irritated by secure people. Being a secure person with a disability means that you've accepted the disability, you've owned it, you've embraced it, you're living your best life with it that you possibly can, and you're not shaken by many things in this life. I remember being at a particular place, and I was surrounded by about 8 guys with weapons. I've been in the criminal justice field now over 25 years, and I'm not going to get into the details of that story, but I'm confident, self-confident. Now, did that shake me up a little bit? Did I show it? No. Because self-confidence lets you maintain control of the situation. You have an inner strength. You have an inner stability. You have an inner anchor that keeps you anchored down no matter what storms are blowing all around you. By the way, I was able to talk my way through that confrontation with those 8 or 9 individuals, and no one got hurt, which is a good thing. So, self-confidence, self-acceptance, self-love. That's our goal. That's what we need to be striving for. And if you get that kind of mentality and that attitude and that mindset, that's going to improve your overall quality of life and of living. All right, guys, that's all I've got. If you like this YouTube program, hit the like button, comment on it, and if you like my channel, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.